believe we are recording in different ways. It's a Monday morning, and I got some stuff to get done here. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth a bit, and I'll move the camera. If I were smart, I'd set up two cameras, but that's not the point of this. I don't try to edit this as much as possible. I am doing a backup currently. I guess I need to do a full backup, don't I? I sure do. I was just doing a backup of my exports because my export folder video comes in to here and then is offloaded onto an SSD from the memory cards. Then it goes through the entire render process, so it's pulling from that SSD. But then when I go to export, I put it on a different SSD, so it takes off that workload from the first one. So then it goes onto an NVMe drive. Anyway, that NVMe drive is a terabyte, and that's about 100 gigs left on there. That's pretty full. I've done a lot of exporting and not a lot of deleting, so it's time for a deletion. But for my SSD that I use for that stuff, I need to back up. It looks like I did a full backup of everything up to the latest, which can now be backed up. About 45 minutes there to transfer 177 gigs of exports and then 130 gigs of raw footage and photos that are edited and whatnot from this past week out trip, which I can talk about while I get things set up here. We're going to move over to this side for now because we have got to do a test now, don't we? Let's put you over here. I still don't have cables managed, which is fine. There's that. Good enough. Okay, let's get all the things set up here. TV. Power on that. Just go past all this. Knock the microphone. Whoops. Sorry about that. And then we can go back around to here. For this, let's see. Where do we start? Well, I don't need this for an overhead. I'm not ready to record just yet. Still, the research needs to happen more. So we're not ready there. Where's the power button for this thing? There it is. Turn on the switcher. Turn on the audio device. We can turn on... Really, I think I just need one camera for this, don't I? I just need that. I don't think I'll need those cams for that. I mean, lights. I will need my wireless, but we're going to save the battery there. I can turn on my audio. Recorder. I need to get to that, which means down here, nice and gentle in my first, right around, and turn on the light, and then take it back up. There we go. I got some rubber stoppers for the trash can out in the kitchen. Trash can's got a footstep and then it goes up and it flies up. And so it'll just hit the edge of the counter there over and over and over, which is not really what I want. And I don't want to damage anything and lose a deposit. So, scoot on by. I'm going to need to, or what I did was I got some rubber stoppers to put on the edge of the trash can lid, so it would not damage the wall. Which means that I need to move this camera up a little bit so I don't hit it with the light that I'm about to bring down and turn on. If I take those and I put them right here on the top of these lights, the handles to these lights, then when I pull them down and put them back up towards the ceiling, I won't be smacking the ceiling every time and probably leaving some kind of mark, which would not be good for my security deposit. Let's see. Audio. Okay, it did light up. It's just real quiet. Yeah, we're doing a full test. We are going to record something, but it's going to be the other series that I'm working on. something. Guess I need to plug in the Switch, because we're going to be playing the Switch today. Which one of these ports is the Xbox? Is it this one? I bet it is. Before I just go unplugging random. Yep, that's Xbox. Alright, Xbox doesn't need power because we're not playing the Xbox right now, but we are playing the Switch. Oh, it's not going to fit there. Crap. Why does this power brick have to be so big and obnoxiously in the way like this? If I plug this in, is it going to hit that reset button? It absolutely is. Even if I remove the cover for the power... that's annoying. Well, the switcher's got more of a... It's not as flat. That's fine. I unplug that thing all the time. You can't see this all the way over here, I don't think, but... And I can't bring it all the way over there. Anyway, it goes... The power brick for the Nintendo Switch has the prongs, and then it's just flat. But for my HDMI switcher, it's got the prongs, and then it's got a little bit of a curve. So I can take that and plug that in over here. Yep, it fits just perfectly. I will have to move that should I ever need to hit the reset button, which is what it's covering, but the reset for this power strip, essentially. I don't have to worry about this being up on the desk, because I don't think it's going to make all that much noise. Put the AC adapter in there. I guess the HDMI for... No, I guess it is going to go down here. Anyway, so I'm getting all set up here to record. We're going to be playing Pokemon, because I do enjoy the Pokemon. And I had an idea about making a Pokemon series, short series, so I could finish collecting all the Pokemon, because there's a few that I'm missing, but they're ones that I can definitely get. Alright, that goes there. You sit over here. Switch is on. No. Switch is on. Well, you should have power. Was the battery dead? I did start doing this like a week ago, and so I got the Switch and unplugged it and moved it over here and then just walked away. So it's quite possible that the Switch doesn't have any battery left to it, and it needs a minute. No, there we go. Console battery. Oh, I know what the problem is. It's not plugged into my switcher, because the last thing I was doing was testing the overhead camera, which is plugged into port 1. There we go. Yep, there it is. Now it's there. It's at 61%, so it only lost about 40% battery over the last time. Cool. What is causing that noise from mic 1? Mic 1. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's that. Oh, that might not be too good. That looks noisy. What we're doing right now is we're going to do a full run-through test, because I haven't actually done that. Now, I don't need all the cameras or anything. I do need some lights. What color should I put there? Well, let's see. If I'm going to play Pokemon, I wish I had a Pokemon shirt or hat. I don't think I have any of that anymore. I did have it at one point. This is reminding me. My sister made me... Let's see here. Just record a voice memo. Hello. No, delete. Better idea. This is what we do when we send each other voice memos. We pretend like it's a voicemail. Hey there, bud. Sorry I missed you. Go ahead and give me a call back. Just had a quick question about the Pokemon cosplay that we did many, many years ago. I was thinking about that shirt and hat, and I wish I still had them, but I don't think I do. You maybe do. Do you have a picture of me in that, you with me, maybe something? Not necessarily. If there's just me, that would be good. I'm thinking about it and doing a Pokemon-related thing that's going on YouTube, so if you had a picture of that, and you were okay with that being shared, can you send that to me? That'd be cool. Yeah, all right, give me a call back. You know my number. It's 555-2424. Why is it that for 20-something years we use the same jokes, which is that number specifically was the fake phone number from Full House, and the character, one of the Olsen twins, says 555-2424 like 8 times that episode maybe. That was enough where we went, all right. And that's the phone number we've always used for everything forever, whenever you have to give out a fake phone number. It's super obvious it's fake. Super obvious that it's fake because no number starts with 555. That is the fake number that they give out. I bet there's only a matter of time before we run out of phone numbers and people actually have to get 555 numbers. That would be a nightmare. Ugh. Anyway. Okie dokie. Let's see here. What should we do now? The switch is turned on. The switch is on the home screen. I probably need to update the apps because I haven't played them in a while. I was going to choose colors, which made me think about what I'm wearing. I guess this is good. I just threw in a button up so that I had a place to put the lav mic because it doesn't really pinch and stick very well to just a t-shirt, which is what I would be wearing on a Monday that's a day off. Because obviously I dress up when I work. No, I wear a t-shirt all the time anyway. I put a button up on when I record. I dress up a little bit. I don't have an excuse to do that anymore since I work from home. I don't have a job that I need to do that with. Lights. Pokemon is red and blue, isn't it? I guess the last time I had it as green. I could do red. It's green again. Blue. I could do the mix, but it kind of comes out purpley, and I think I might use that for something. I like teal and orange a lot. Does teal and orange work well? Well, that's teal. That doesn't look, first of all, make this full screen. The teal really doesn't look very good now, does it? I gotta go down here to cover up one of these ports in order to do 2 color. Because it's got like the, was that, I guess, an IR sensor to it that I've taped. If I do orange, I think I made everything orange because I wasn't covering it fully. That's orange and teal. That looks bad. No, let's not do that. We do a purple, just straight up purple. That looks kind of dark on camera. Okay, so that one's a little bit lighter. Yellow looks too green. Yeah, not many colors really show up like that. This kind of a light, I guess a light blue would work, wouldn't it? All right, let's see. I've got one idea to record that I'm still not quite ready to talk about. That one probably should be green. The main Capitalism Ho videos I think could be a mix of red and blue, and then this could just be a light blue, I guess. That still looks kind of green, doesn't it? But a full blue, what if I mix that with purple? Cover that up. That's not bad. It's a little dark. Yeah, that teal just kind of goes. Is this the full brightness? It is. It is full bright. Full brightness. Do boop ba doo. I guess I could do white behind it. That's not bad, is it? Not really, because it still gets a bit of that color. Wait, did I cover it? If I do white and teal, so it would be a real bright teal. Cover up one of these. Nope, not that teal. That's too green. That's not bad. You get a bit of color, you get a bit of light. I think we'll go with that for Pokemon. That's the color of Pokemon. Sure, why not? What are my camera settings? It almost seems kind of dim, doesn't it? No, I guess it's not bad once I sit in front of it, but I do need to adjust the focus. I do need to adjust the focus. There is Pokemon. Pokemon. Gotta ramble on. Do-do-do. Is this centered in the... Yes, it is. If I do that... That's fine. It's basically just going to be face cam anyway. That'll be a little bit of this and then face cam while I play the game. And catch the remaining Pokemon. Remaining Pokemon. Okay. so I could put on a hat. I might as well put on a hat. Because I'm not going to be wearing one in too many other things. Today is a shaving day. Is entail spelled E-N? I-N. No, it says that's wrong. Something entails. Yeah, it's got to be E-N. Okay. Let's see here. We got audio going. That covers my mic. I honestly probably don't need the lav for this. But I might. Well, no. Well, it helps to have a second one, doesn't it? 2 inputs will go into there, so I've got a backup in case something goes wrong, and I can switch between the channels because it's 2-channel recording. So yes, I will use the lav, which means I will use the wireless, a different wireless from the one that I'm wearing, which involved me going, how am I going to do this? I already have a lav set up, but it's on the utility belt, so I could wear the big heavy utility belt while I'm walking around doing all this, but I really don't want to. So instead, I will grab the wireless, my other wireless that I use for something else, and just plug a lav into it. And then I did, and it went, no, you need to update. I run through updating all of those devices, which is fun. This is out of frame. This is there. We've got that for that thing. The audio is going to have sound. I should, if I actually put the cable in. Okay. I can hear a lot of noise. That's pretty noisy, honestly. But do I get switch noises? If I go to here. Yep, those are switch noises. Probably need to set my audio level. There's a dusty controller. Yeah, turn that down a little bit. That's got a level there. All right, so we're almost ready to start and test it, I think. Oh, is this even interesting to watch me walk around doing this? Probably not, but it is what I'm doing today. I will need to run a test to see how the audio works with that. At least it's all going into one so I don't have to sync it up. I will need this computer because I will need all my notes. Turn that on. Get that thing going. You know, I started, I went out last week and just all the things I talked about before moving, all the things where I went, here are the changes I want to make, here's what's going to be different for the wildlife, splitting wildlife vlogs into more digestible, more focused, I guess. Stop, Windows. I already did this. Don't remind me later. Never remind me again. Because all you're trying to do is change my default apps to your crappy ones. Anyway. I went through, I already said I was going to do that. I was going to do less of, try to kind of tighten up the wildlife vlog so it was more specifically wildlife. Put the personal ones like this somewhere else. Not do everything. Focus more on individual subjects. And then I went out last weekend and just completely forgot all of that and just started recording whatever. And so then I edited it together as, I guess it's a mix, because I didn't have an intro for that. I didn't really have an outro for either one of them. I kind of did one, but I'm trying to make 2 videos. I have to remember, if you're going to do 2, you have to explain what you're doing in both, because otherwise you cut between them, and it's super obvious and weird when you just cut into the middle where I go, this is the park we're going to, and then immediately start talking about something else. Not helpful. Not ideal. Not what we're trying to do. So besides that little hiccup that I got all my editing done yesterday, which means I edited, let's see, I took the driving footage, turned that into a short little clip, then did the longer form for the winter and the summer. I had the drive down the mountain. Then I did last week's for, I guess, the Capitalism Hoe that came out today, which was just a look around this place. Because I don't have anything prepared and I'm still not ready to do that. Then I did the wildlife slash personal vlog. Then I did the walking around with the GoPro footage. I had to edit all the photos for multiple. Last week I did all the stuff that I was behind on from before the move, that I went out the weekend before moving and then did not edit any of that. So last weekend I got all that editing done. It's been so much editing. I finally caught it up. Yesterday I was happy. I got it done. We stopped. I went to play video games the rest of the day, take some time for myself, get that stuff, so I didn't feel like I was having to do anything, and I got it done, and then we all caught up, and then we get to this, and it's like, well, time to record more, which creates more of a backlog for editing. I'm hoping I can get a couple of these videos done today, because it should be pretty, I mean, honestly, it's easy. I'm just going to play Pokemon and talk. Get my notes pulled up on which ones I'm missing. Log into Chrome. No, I'm already logged in. Good. But it is paused. It's probably going to want my password, isn't it? Well, that's a problem. Hello? Who's a little crying cat? What's up? Hi, where are you? I don't even see you. Yes, I hear you. You're being loud. Why are you? Hi, what's up? Yes, hello. She's making all kinds of What? What do you need? What's up? It's not food time yet. Yeah, it wants me to sign in. Well, that's an issue. All right, so we won't be doing that because I'm not typing in my password on camera. I've heard far too much about what that's able to do and how AI is able to detect keystrokes based on how they sound with the microphone. Plus, looking at it. Hey. That's some pictures. Thank you. Baby face Michael. It's not too bad right now. I didn't accidentally. I looked at it and went, man, that's really long in the mirror. My beard is what I don't know if you could even see me from where I was sitting. I went to trim it up and I was like, it's really gotten too long here, and trying to even it out with everything there. It would be better just start fresh. So put the guard on, the longest one you got, just get everything down. It's too short. I don't like it. It's too short. It'll grow back in like a month. I guess I need to test this. That was what I was working towards. So if that's what we're going to do, then we need to turn on. What do we hold down this power button? Hold down this power button. Hope that the two wireless signals do not interfere with each other, although they very well might, because I already have a lav mic on. Just sit there for a minute. Stop. Oh, I need to put my SSD in the recorder. Oh, but which side is it? Oh, that's going to be interesting. Let's see here. Let's try slot 3. Okay, nothing in slot 3. Let's try slot 1. There we go in slot 1. But it's not being picked up here, now is it? Which means that it's being picked up on the computer, isn't it? Man, it's not how this is supposed to work. What I have is a 4-bay SSD recorder. Is that what it's called? Does it have the name on it? It doesn't. It's a USB device that holds SSD, 2.5-inch SSDs. And I used to use it for editing. And then I moved it because I made it internal instead. That worked out better for me rather than trying to... I need to cable manage all this stuff so badly. Just bumping everything, I'm so sorry. Like I said, it would have worked out better if I'd actually used 2 cameras, but then I would have to cut in between, and I'm trying not to edit this. Yeah, that's fine. You'll see the back of my head. I don't think I cut myself shaving this week, which is nice. Yep. 120 gigabyte Kingston. That's my SSD that I used for this recording. However, flashlight? Really? I usually keep one here at my desk. I got a tiny one, that'll do. Or I could grab my phone, I suppose. Let's see, how's this plugged in? It's supposed to be able to connect between two different sources. Yeah, if I'm plugged into number 2, A and B should be two different USB devices. Oh, I know. Oh, you fool. That's why. Dang it. All right. I know what I did wrong here. The last time I was recording, the last time I was running a test over here, and so I plugged the switcher into the USB for the computer in order to control it. Come on, go down. I really didn't have a good plan for this tripod, and I think I keep bumping the mic every time I go around this TV because there's just barely enough room for me to get by. Okay, so there should be 2 USB-Cs over here, and there's not. Cool. Where's the other one? Did it fall? I hope not. I thought I cable tied. Nope, there it is. I bet that's it right there, isn't it? Wait, what are you? Where does that cable go to? All right. This is a USB-C that runs. Yep, that's it. All right. So this comes up here. And now we are going to plug this into here. So the way that this thing should work, and I will just apologize that this video is even more incoherent than normal since I'm trying to do things while I'm working on this. It's got 4 bays for the SSDs. If I plug it into port 1 or 2, it's connected to my computer over there for pulling the footage. If I plug it into port 3, it should be connected to this. And it's not. I mean, it is, but it's not recognizing it. Why? Do I have to format it a certain way? You should just be able to work. Oh no, it's got the disc on there. Why isn't it showing it? If I hit record, it won't let me record. Okay, so it doesn't like that disc. Maybe I need to format it? Alright, put you back into slot 1. Unfortunately, go back over here. This is how it goes. When I try to do things, and I go, all right, let's get started here, and we'll be able to talk through. Really, I thought about 2 things to record here, where I went, well, I can do a personal vlog, and I can talk about what's been going on. I can talk about the error I made with the... that was my toe that I just stubbed. All right. Yes, Kingston SSD, 120 gig. Let's see here. SSD, Blackmagic, design, SSD, recorder. Oh, it's the dock, isn't it? SSD dock. The multi-dock, that's what it's called. Multi-dock, 10 gig. Multi-dock won't record. Press record, it won't start recording. It's the SD card formatted. Well, if it's an SD card, then it's not the multi-dock now, is it? Okay. Multi-dock problem. Mac OS, I don't have Mac. Latest update solved it. I guess I could see if there's an update for it. Blackmagic, multi-dock update. Always get into their support pages. Annoying. And then duplicators, disks, hyperdeck. That's not, I don't have a hyperdeck. I don't need video assist. I wish it wasn't all under one. Search by model. I don't know the model. Multi-dock. See, that I type in, I go to their webpage, I go to the downloads, I type in multi-dock, and it still just takes me to the same page as the other ones where I have to scroll through looking for multi-dock because I just see stuff for hyperdeck. I don't have a hyperdeck. I don't think they actually, I always had trouble with this thing in the software because there isn't software for it. It's just supposed to be plug and play, but then I have issues like this. Okay. Do they have a manual? That's my next question. This is the process for everything. Multi-dock, thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Connecting to your computer, plugging your drives, formatting drives. Any 2.5-inch SSD, formatted to your computer can read them using the HFS Plus and exFAT formats. Okay. Is it? Create a partition with the partition manager, but that might not actually be the right way to do it for an SSD, is it? It might be. No, because you still partition the thing. Properties, file system, NTFS. Well, that's why. That's why. Partition, create and format hard disk partitions. You are watching me troubleshoot on the fly. I talked about the mess up that I wasn't happy about with my videos. Okay. Format. exFAT. 120 gigabyte Kingston. Perform a quick format. Yes, I understand. Or is it? It's empty. The label supplied is not valid. What does that mean? What would it did it? What? Oh, it didn't like my name. Now it's just local disk. Can I rename that? Can I rename it to multi-dock? I can rename it multi-dock. Good enough. Okay, it's been formatted. Now it's in the right format. exFAT, not NTFS. Riveting. Now we'll go back over. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I remember another thing I was going to talk about. Let's get through this test first. I'm sure I'll remember it in a moment. I definitely won't come back to this moment and go, why didn't I say something more? It's crooked. Now we'll get past the tripod. Now we'll walk around. Now we'll go under the TV and kick one of the tripod. Dang it. I need just a little bit more room here. Okay. So now when I plug you in here, for those keeping score at home, the first attempt didn't work because my switcher was plugged into the computer for changing the format settings instead of being plugged into the SSD for the multi-dock. Now I can record for 43 minutes. That's it? Oof. I thought I'd have more room with that. That doesn't sound, 43 minutes sounds plenty, except for the fact that I typically record in longer than 43-minute chunks, but I guess what I'm going to have to do is start, oof. I'm going to get a bigger hard drive is what I'm going to do. Because I want to sit down and record for multiple hours if possible. I usually batch record. My plan for today is to batch record. Now, with me talking like this and doing this, I can see an issue right off the bat, and that's the fact that my mic is way too loud. But how is it coming out of here? Is it just the input for that? Yeah, that's not bad. And talking through that, that's also not bad. So it's the input into the switcher. Which, how do I save that then? Let's see here. Well, first of all, mic 1. Oh, I can hear myself. Why can I hear myself? How can I hear myself? What is going on here? How does that... What? What? 1, 2. Testing. How? Now I'm genuinely puzzled. Okay, hold on. Let me understand this. XLR running into the mixer. That's running into the mixer wirelessly. Out of the back of the mixer, I run a cable into... I run the cables into my recorder, my audio recorder over here. Then I have an audio cable running out of that into here. That's where it's coming from. But how did I hear myself before? That doesn't even make any sense. Okay, now I'm confused. What? Where is it running into mic 1? It's running out of the mixer. What? That has genuinely puzzled me. Okay, sorry. The XLR mic and the lav are plugged into the mixer. The mixer has cables running out the back. It's got XLRs, a pair of them, to run my 2 channels, my left and right. That goes, I guess. Interesting. I don't know if I actually have it mixed to left and right the way I want it to, so I can record my 2 tracks individually. But anyway, that goes into my handy dandy recorder over there, so I can record it because the mixer's old and the recorder's old, and I don't really have the ability to do both, but the mixer's more powerful for running this. So anyway, so it runs into the recorder. Now, out the back of the recorder goes into my mix amp, which is different. The mix amp is specifically for the headphones, and that's how I get sound out the TV. That's why, because I'm pulling sound out the TV. Okay. I turned on the mic input on my switcher, and all of a sudden I could hear everything. I could hear myself much louder. I could hear my mic inputs, which did not make any sense to me because I didn't think I was getting anything from there, but that's why. It's coming out that. Well, if that's the case, then I don't really need the input from that. Now, do I? Because I don't need it duplicated. I forgot that HDMI would send the audio signal so I can hear everything. Technically, I could turn the volume up on the TV if I wanted to hear it that way, but I don't really have a need for that. I do need to be able to hear myself. I do need to be able to hear my microphones, and I do need to be able to hear the game audio, but if I'm going to get all of that from there because it's being captured so that I can do it one single stream, that's even easier. Now, isn't it? Isn't it? Ooh, there's a delay. Am I going to be able to put up with that? I might be able to. Is there a delay here? There is not. Okay, I can do that much better. So what I'll do is I'll turn my... Why? Probably because of the wireless lav in my pocket. I hope, because I can't deal with feedback. So if I'm talking here and I'm talking into the microphone, that's going pretty well. I did have to turn it down. I don't know if that's loud enough. Negative 1350. There we go. That's peeking into the yellows. But why is the mix louder over there? That's not too bad. I don't want it to go into red, and it does go into red when I do. If I do this right here, here, okay, I see the red. I see it peaking. Whoops. Why is it doing it there and not on the mic 1 input? Why is it different? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, I've got like a PGM. What does that stand for? Something master. And it shouldn't have a different audio level, and yet it does, which doesn't make any sense to me. So if I do this right here, then I get this, but do I get game audio? I do not, but there is game audio. If I bring it back a little bit, I get game audio. I hear myself twice. I'm not a fan of that. But I need everything running into one. I bet the switcher... There we go. Oh, no. That was my microphone and my windscreen. I'm sorry, I gotta put you back on. There. Okay. I think I'm ready to start testing now. And the testing is going to be a boring process anyway, where I'm just going back and forth and you can't really hear anything, so it's not like it's going to matter too much. But basically, that's the next process in this. The next step of the process, I need to be able to type in a password, and I can't do that on a camera anyway. So what we've done, we've turned on the lights. I already balanced the lights the other day, so it's pretty good for the levels there. It looks fine. I've plugged in the switch so that I can have my game input with what's going on. I can make sure I can hear my game. I have to figure out what I'm going to do about hearing myself on a slight delay because the audio signals are being routed into the switcher, the ATM Mini Pro, which is the switcher that I bought. And I bet fancier models, I know they have more inputs, I know they have more controls and things like that. I don't really need more than 4. Sure, I have 4 cameras. Having a 5th one, I could plug in whatever console or multiple consoles without having to swap things around, but no, that's expensive and I don't need it. This is just a fun thing. But it would be nice to have a dedicated audio out from that. Instead of it running the audio currently, which is running through the HDMI, which is then running back through. That's why I hear myself on a loop and a slight delay. All of my game and all of my cameras run into the switcher. Then the output of that goes into the TV. Then the audio from that, so I can get that into my headphones, the audio from that comes out a fiber optic cable into my old Astro Mix amp, which I just have a random pair of headphones because, I mean, those are my recording headphones basically for over here so that I have a separate pair. I really want to try to set everything up so that it's as drag and drop as possible. You just drag me in and drop and record and then walk away and everything is still set up and I don't have to do too much. The only thing there is I have to change the inputs around for when I'm using an overhead camera as opposed to using the Switch or the Xbox. I only have 4 ports and I've got the other 3 cameras there. Plus the first port's the only one that really works for that anyway because you get the higher refresh rate. Okay. So what I need to do now is little tiny fiddly go back and forth because I still, like, just to be 100% sure, I can record and then I go over to the computer and see how it sounds. And then I come back and I test it. Because I don't trust any of the live monitoring here. I've got too many. I have the mixer, like where my audio, that's what I'm testing right now is the audio. I have an audio input from the Switch. I have an audio input from 2 different XLR microphones that are plugged into 2 different channels. So each one of those has a level. I have that going into a recorder, which then has an output to where I'm recording to the other stuff. So I record my tracks separately. I record it baked into the video file and then I record it on the recorder itself, so I have a backup of that. I don't really have a way to back up the video, but at least I have an audio backup. Hopefully my goal is to not need that audio backup so that if I accidentally forget to press record like I've done in the past, I have everything baked into the video file. That's what I'm currently working on as far as that goes, and I don't trust what I get as far as all of that sounds. Sometimes it sounds fine, sometimes it's wildly different to what it saves. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a test here. I'm gonna sit down, talk into both microphones, which means I'll switch the lavs out. I'll go get a hat. I'll type in my password. I'm gonna get a little bit of food because I'm hungry now. It is 8:41 in the morning, and then I'm gonna sit down and play Pokemon for a bit and record some. Hopefully I'll record a couple of these videos. I need to start thinking about what I'm going to say in the first one to explain all of this, because I did kind of a half-hearted job here, but I was talking it through. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Remember when I was over there? No, I'm just kidding. I do actually remember what it is. I have got a few things in the works. Oop. And thankfully I bury this at the end of a video that most people aren't going to watch because it's just me talking and walking around through this stuff as part of the personal vlog. There we go. We can get that out of there. Hopefully the last time. And it's already been 45 minutes, so definitely most people aren't going to watch that, and that's understandable. But I can talk about what else I've got going on here, right? Because I have wildlife vlogs when I go out. I have the photos that come from that, or the video footage. So those sometimes get separated out. Usually the photos just stay on Patreon, unless I feel there are enough of them to make like a montage to go on to that. Anyway, this is how it should go. That last video doesn't count. So there's a bit of that. You get a taste of it in the vlog. You get a personal vlog where I just vomit words of whatever's going on, and sometimes I have something else playing a game, and sometimes I'm setting up to record things. And it's just whatever's currently on my head with that stuff. That takes care of when I go out. I'm starting sometimes when I go out, every couple months, maybe something like that. I don't know how often it'll be. Maybe when I go visiting places. Whenever I do the still photography part of it, and I feel like it, I'll put a GoPro on. So I'm now doing that. So that's another type of video that I'll start recording. That handles all of that. I've got, let's see. I've got those things there. I record audio on my drive to and from places sometimes that stays Patreon only, where more just word vomit, but it's audio only. I also do that at home with an audio recorder for a Patreon only, where that's more like the ones when I'm driving are a cohesive, long, however long until I go, well, I'm out of things to talk about. Let me just put on music for the rest of the drive. This I'll just pick up and record 30 seconds or a minute or a couple minutes whenever I have a topic that I can think of. Another Patreon only. But those are less frequent. That happens with that. What I'm getting towards, is to record something specific for Patreon regularly so I can release it like once a month, because they deserve an exclusive for paying money. The other things that I'm recording, I've got Capitalism Ho, the whole backdrop that I was just setting up. I'm going to record, I'm going to use that space for that stuff. So that will be a weekly thing that comes out. The Pokemon will be a weekly thing until it ends. And I have an idea of how many episodes that'll be, but that'll just be a recurring series until I finish the until I get the goal. And then I'm done with that. I'm not going to continue doing that regularly because it's only kind of focused on that one thing. I have another video game that I want to start up as a weekly series that will be just continuing forever. Until I get bored of it, more or less. But that one's not entirely ready to talk about because there's a few things that I want to work out the details on. Is that everything? I've got another idea for a branch off of Capitalism Ho that will probably take place at some point when I'm ready for that. I wasn't counting on two hands. I was just counting on one over and over, so I don't actually know how many that is. Maybe that's 9, maybe that's 10 different video series. Is kind of like, it'll be a playlist, right? That's how I think of it, because I just have done random things. But if I'm going to make a playlist for it, then it's a series, and that's how many I currently have planned out for what I'm going to do. And then I want to add one more, and I haven't decided what it should be. I want it to be kind of special, because it's Patreon. So I might pick a video game, but if I'm going to pick a video game and I'm going to play it and talk over it and things like that, I don't want it to just be boring. I want it to be relevant. And I want it to be something that I can kind of drop and come back to, because if that's the game and that's what I'm going to do and I'm going to set myself up to only do that, like, I'm currently playing through the Horizon DLC. That wouldn't make for a good video because it's mostly story-driven, and if you haven't seen all that stuff, and I wouldn't do a whole lot of talking, and I want to play it on the Xbox, which is out there. And that's not where I have myself set up to record. Xbox, the PlayStation. I want to play it on the TV. The big screen. So that wouldn't really work. And then I'm currently playing through Dark Souls, which will probably be the topic of a future Capitalism Ho video. But I'm currently playing through that. Now, I'm playing through that with a guide because I want to get to 100%, and I'm not going to run around and figure it out on my own. I'm just going to follow what somebody else did, which is how I got the 100% before on the other games. But anyway, I'm finally going back through that one. That's boring. That's another one I want to play on the TV, and then I'm just reading a guide. I could read that out loud and, like, commentate, but that's boring, and I'm not going to do that. So that doesn't work. And I'm trying to, like, actually achieve something. I could pick a game that I could play. I'd have to pick one that is interesting to me, and it doesn't matter if I leave it for a month and then come back to it. Something that is somewhat interesting. Minecraft does work, so that might be a thing. It would be better if I had something to talk about. I don't know. I could see a few different ways. I'm still playing around with it. I don't have an answer. Unfortunately, it would be nice if I was arriving at something, if I had planned it out and I had something to discuss and to like bring up and be like, here's the perfect thing. But I don't have that, unfortunately. That's not how it works. Today, because I didn't think it through beforehand, I am still actively thinking about it. I could see down the future if we grow Patreon numbers and then we have more subscribers or supporters or whatever the term is, I could see that being a regular thing for once a month. We do like a Q&A, and that's something I can talk about while I play a video game. I can answer questions because I've got the recording space and I've got something to look at notes. So I could do that. I could see that. I don't know what else it would be that would be worth it. That's currently the best idea I've got at this point in time, is to play a game that I can just drop into, play through. I guess I do kind of have an idea for one. Something that would never end, though. Something sandboxy would be nice. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So anyway, that's what I'm currently thinking of. And I haven't decided yet, and it'll probably be a while before it comes out, because I just, as I mentioned, loaded myself up with many other things that I want to be working on. I'm assuming I can get Pokemon done in a few weeks, knock that through, then I can work out the kinks on the other idea that I want to do that involves a video game, and start regularly batch recording those, and then have that released weekly, in addition to getting the research done for Capitalism Ho, so those can start coming out again. Then there's just going out on weekends, doing all that stuff. That adds more editing time. Am I doing too much? I don't know yet. I'll find out. I will just continue adding on to my plate until I hit a point of, whoops, too much, and then I'll have to back off. But we're not there yet, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. As much hassle as it was to do this is the side of it that I also really enjoy, which is the nitpicky figuring out the technology. Why doesn't my SSD work? Let's go Google, let's find out what's going on, work through the issues there, troubleshoot it, figure out why things are doing the way that they are, get to that point where you fixed it and then can move forward. It's nitpicky, it's annoying, but it is what I enjoy. It's the hand of technology. If everything just worked the first time, it'd be easy, and then everyone could do it. And we're getting to that point. But honestly, the way technology works is probably never going to happen. There will always have the need for, like, hold on, why isn't this working the way I wanted it to? How do I fix it? I've got something right now. Somebody put out by the dumpster a big TV, like a big 60-inch TV, which is the same size as mine, I think. And it's older, and it's 1080. And I was like, well, what do we need that for? We don't. Or do we? You can put it in the bedroom. Have second TV. Realistically, that might work. If Bonnie wants second TV, I have second TV. Is it necessary? No, absolutely not. And if I hadn't found it down by the dumpster for free, I wouldn't have it. But does it work? No, it doesn't turn on. So it's a project now. At some point, I'm going to work on taking that thing apart, like the other ones that I did. It doesn't even turn on, so I can't even use it as a giant backlight like I did with some of the other things. I assume it's LCD. I don't actually know if it's LED or LCD, but it's possible. And it cost me basically nothing, because all I had to do was get it from the dumpster and carry it. It was heavy, but it's going to cost me nothing to take it apart and go, can I fix it? Because it could just be a fuse. And a fuse is cheap and easy to replace. It could be that the actual board is dead in it, and that is not easy to replace or cheap. But it is a good time for me to finally experiment with multimeter, because I really don't know multimeters. I have a little bit of soldering experience, not very much, not very good, but a little bit. I can take things apart pretty well. I can clean them real well. But when it actually comes to testing, that's the main thing, is you have to see whether or not it's getting a voltage connection. I've learned about it, but I just don't know how it works. I don't know what to touch and what not to touch. When I'm in there and I get nervous because I'm afraid I'll touch it and I'll fry something. I'll bridge two things that shouldn't be bridged and I'll fry something. So I don't really know what it is. Honestly, if I had enough projects, that would be a great ongoing series, because I've got kind of a space over here. Yet again, well, I'd probably do it over there, honestly. I've already got everything set up. That would be a fun little series. Throw down the mat, get all my little tools out and things like that, and work on little projects, electronic projects, taking things apart, cleaning them, putting them back together. It's a nice, peaceful state anyway, to just be slowly working on something. I could very easily start doing that in the recording setup I've got over there. I did kind of build out, I put some lights in the closet for a table for that stuff, but if I wind up recording it and making a series, is that worthy of Patreon exclusive? No, not really. It's just me talking more. It's just the same thing. I do want it to be kind of a step above so that it's actually worth it. And that would just be more of the same. It's not like it would be instructional, because I wouldn't know what I'm doing. I'd be looking up guides, probably from iFixit, if I can find them, and go, please teach me how to do this, like I did with, repairing my 3DS repeatedly. It would be interesting. It would definitely be something I would do. Building computers is something I'm very interested in, and I did that kind of, but not well. When I built the server, that became Patreon exclusive just because I was disappointed with it. Because it didn't work. I went all the way through that. I spent that evening trying to get everything going. Then I worked on it the next day, and it turned out to have a dead CPU, that like the whole thing. So yeah, I would love to do more of that. I did set up multiple cameras so I get a top-down angle in the whole thing, and I was going to do it and like cut it together. That's another thing that I've thought of, is like release the full thing on Patreon, because if you're supporting me, you probably want to see all of that. So there you go. There's the full 2-3 hours, however much it is. And then cut it together in a way that goes, all right, now I'm going to put the CPU on. Cut, and the CPU is on, and like step by step. Is it instructional? No, there's far better people out there to do it than me. But it's something. It's still content that I would be pleased with, of telling a story, talking about the thing, or using it just as like B-roll footage, basically. In the video that I did make after the move, I did make a video talking about building the server, and I could have used the footage from that there, and I didn't, because it was editing, and that's more work, and I didn't even think about it until right now, but you know, I could have done that. I did make a video building the other computers. I did a whole thing where I did, gosh, I've done multiple computer videos, haven't I, at this point? I should just accept that that's a hobby of mine and try to find a way to fulfill it. It's just so much more expensive. Put a $1,000 GPU in this computer. I can't do that on a regular basis. But when I did the upgrade for that, I upgraded that one, moved stuff into the work computer, built my entire gaming computer for out in the gaming area. When I did all that stuff, I did record some videos out of that. I forgot. Anyway, it's almost been an hour now, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm going to finish testing. I'm going to actually do the little nitty-gritty testing that is definitely not boring to watch, even though most of this was probably boring to watch and listen to. That is extremely boring to watch, because it'll just be me sitting in silence. I'll go talk and then come sit in silence, because I'll have to be able to hear it, and that is not engaging content. And the way to make it engaging content is to then add that stuff into it so you could see exactly how I test it, and I'm not going to do that because that requires far too much editing. Yes, it is possible for me to then save all of these tests that I'm going to do and put them in there, but it should be pretty easy for me to go, whoa, that's too loud. And then I'd have to edit it so it's not too loud for you, because that's just rude to, if I record it and go, that's too loud of a signal, and put that as is in the video, that's just going to blow people's headphones or speakers or whatever it is. Maybe not blow them, but it's going to be rude, and I wouldn't do that. That's why I take the precautions that I do to put the lav and to do proper audio, so that it's not me yelling across the room to just hope that whatever microphones on there are being picked up. Anyway, that's what we did today. We talked for almost an hour while we got everything set up. I'm going to record some videos. I've got a few things to take care of before that, run the tests and everything, record some videos for today, and then see where we're at. I shouldn't have too much. Editing is done, so I shouldn't have anything else until I record more. I guess I technically have to edit this so I can put an intro, an outro, and add in my secondary audio. Hope this worked. It'd be a bummer if the last 58 minutes didn't matter. Okay, well, thanks for joining. Bye. That was poor. That's where I'm at. I'm thinking through things. I've got several series on the brain of what I'm currently doing, what I'm going to be doing, what I want to be doing, what I still have to work on to do, and then what I haven't figured out yet, like the Patreon exclusives. I will start doing that. It might not be this year. We're in August right now, September, October, November, December. Yeah, that's probably far enough out if I make that as a maybe goal to start in 2024 of doing that exclusive once a month. That would be cool. I'd like it to be something that's actually worthwhile, which requires me thinking more on it. So more to that to come. But that's where we're at today. That's what I'm up to. I'm going to go do all those things I just talked about. Goodbye. Was that a better outro? No, probably not.